Assalamu alaikum. Detroit. Mine's #1. Yeah, I'm back on this talking donkey, man. Versus a UFO. We're dealing with Christianity's belief and the Nation of Islam belief. Eventually, you should turn into a knower when you apply the principles. Christianity has great principles. Yes, they do. And it can make you a very good person if you apply the principles of being Christ-like, one who's crystallized in Jesus, meaning you do your best to put your footprint in Jesus' footprint. Yes, it has that, but at the same time, it also has the power to keep you as a slave, to combat your natural rebel spirit that's in your DNA. It forces you to be and stay a slave. That's the truth. Now, if you're content with just loving God, and you say you love everybody, then you need not to be aggressive. Because what you do, you force God to show his hand. It's like Moses. And he went up against Pharaoh and their magicians. And he's telling magicians to throw your knowledge, throw your rod on the ground. That is your knowledge and your wisdom. Bring it to the table. And when they threw their rod on the ground and Moses threw his rod on the ground, his turned into a snake and ate their rod up. Meaning that Moses' knowledge surpassed all the scientists and scholars of that day. That's what that means. You literally think that Moses threw a stick down and it turned into a snake. That's what it means. See, it's called signs and symbols. Signs and symbols are for those who have conscious mind, for the people who are aware. Signs and symbols, people can talk in sign language and talk directly over you and I head. But they can't talk on my head no more, I'm woke. So it's symbolic language. And when I spoke about the Ezekiel's wheel, it's in the Bible. He said he's seen a wheel in the sky. That's what Ezekiel said. So if you were to study Ezekiel's wheel and you would pay attention to all these people, these pilots, these engineers, these people who have witnessed something in the air flying like a wheel or a different type of plane. I mean, there's millions and millions and millions of people who have shared their story. The government knows this. At the Million Man March, they were seen all in the air, man. So, my point is, surface dwellers. That's all you're going to get is but all the gold and the jewels and the diamonds and the understanding and wisdom is in a deeper study and a understanding of the deeper study. But the only way you can go into a deeper study, you have to have your foundation rooted in common sense. Oh, God damn. No. Listen. Listen. A donkey is a symbol for an ass. That's what they're saying. A person that's unlearned from the traditional way of being taught, who would be considered a fool, is speaking knowledge and wisdom to another man who appears to be a learned man, a degreed man in this world. That's what it symbolized, man. The donkey's talking, the fool's talking, the ass talking, the last that shall become first talking, speaking, and sharing wisdom. It is written that in the last days that the sun will rise in the west. In the last days, the sun will rise in the west, meaning that wisdom will be coming from the west, going to the east. See, wisdom came from the east, brother. All wisdom. When you get to talking about Kemet and Egypt and things, that all come from the east. But in the last days, those of us in the west, we're going to wake up, and the whole world is waiting on us to wake up. You and me. Like, how the hell can these people not have no nationality, do not know who they are, and being murdered in wholesale? How can they just stay so submissive when God plans on destroying America? She is her number one on God's list to be destroyed. He saved America for himself. So this donkey stands for an unlearned man speaking. That's what it means. It's not a damn donkey speaking. Mary, Joseph's mother, Mary's, Jesus' mother, slept with Joseph. Just like that. And if you was to read the Bible from the way it's written, mankind, that's what it says. Man is you, the original people. Those who come direct descendants from God himself is man. Mankind is the so-called white man, the Caucasians. They are not the same as you and I. That's why you see all this bloodshed in the world. That's why it's going to be Armageddon, because they are not the same as you and I, and they plan to go to war with God. With one mathematical, they're operating off of one mathematical system. When God says that there's 60,000 mathematical systems that you can build a world on, they're doing all this on one. It is their arrogance that will lead you and I to hell with them. Say you love everybody. In the Bible, where it tells you to turn your other cheek and to love your enemy, that's a lie. You know it's a lie. I heard a pastor say, I don't turn my other cheek. Yeah, because it's a lie. It's a lie. And if it's a lie, then it's to be dismissed. You can't say that's a lie. And then a donkey talking, that's symbolic language. You can't say a donkey talk. And the birth of Jesus, that was a woman who was untouched by any other man besides Joseph. And the Spirit of God dwelled in Joseph and dwelled in Mary. That's all it means. So I just wanted to close out my talking donkey versus the Nation of Islam UFOs. Assalamu alaikum.